What would you do if the woman you trusted most suddenly vanished behind a wall of secrets and you found out by following her? Nathan Reed wasn't a man easily surprised. As the CEO of one of New York's fastest-growing tech companies, he'd seen deception, ambition, even betrayal. But nothing prepared him for what he discovered that rainy Thursday evening when he quietly followed his assistant, Rachel Carter, after she hurried out of the office like she always did, at exactly 5 p.m. She thought no one noticed. She was wrong. What began as curiosity turned into something much deeper when he ended up standing in the shadows of a crumbling community center, watching Rachel read bedtime stories to a dozen immigrant children, two of them clinging to her skirt, calling her Mom. He wasn't just watching a woman hiding a double life. He was witnessing something that would shatter his expectations, challenge his priorities, and eventually change everything. Why had she kept it all hidden? And more importantly, what would he do now that he knew? This isn't just a story about love. It's about sacrifice, survival, and the question we all must face one day. What truly matters most? Stay with us. You won't want to miss what happens next. Nathan Reed didn't follow people. That wasn't who he was. As the founder of one of the most successful tech empires in New York, he had people to follow others for him, if ever there was a reason. But something about Rachel Carter had pulled a string he didn't know existed inside him. For 2 years, she had been his executive assistant. Brilliant, polished, always composed, and always distant. She never spoke about her personal life. She never mingled. And without fail, she left the office every single day at exactly 5 p.m. No exceptions, no after-hours calls, no late meetings, just a quiet goodbye and the click of her heels disappearing into the elevator. Most CEOs would shrug it off. Nathan didn't. It was the way she checked the clock when meetings ran late, the slight panic behind her eyes she tried to hide. Was it just discipline, or was there something more? One Thursday afternoon, a meeting with Japanese investors ran long. Rachel kept glancing at the time, more frantically than usual. When the clock hit 5, she shot up and began gathering her notes. Nathan, curious beyond reason, offered to postpone the meeting. She nodded politely, whispered a thanks, and dashed out. That's when he did it. He grabbed his coat and followed her. No plan, no purpose, just instinct. He trailed her through the subway, across neighborhoods that grew grittier with every block. Finally, she stopped outside a crumbling building with fading paint. Future Seed Center, a community shelter in East Ridge. Nathan hung back, watching from across the street. Rachel walked in with 2 little girls who had run to her from the nearby daycare. Twins, Lily and Grace. They looked no older than 5. Her daughters? Why had she never mentioned them? Inside, she transformed. She wasn't an executive anymore. She was Miss Rachel, the reading teacher, the snack lady, the mother, the comforter. She passed out crayons, told stories, led math games. She laughed, genuinely laughed. And the kids, they adored her. Nathan stood there, stunned. This wasn't just volunteer work. This was her second life, one he'd never been invited into. But why the secrecy? Just as he stepped closer to the window to listen, one of the twins, Lily, he would learn, spotted him. "Mommy, there's a man watching us," she said, pointing. Rachel turned slowly. When she saw him, her face went pale. "What are you doing here?" Her voice cracked. She stood, shielding her daughters behind her. Nathan hesitated, suddenly feeling 12 years old and caught red-handed. I followed you," he admitted. "I needed to understand why you always ran at 5. Rachel's jaw tightened. "You followed me? That's completely inappropriate, Mr. Reed." "I know," he said, stepping back. "You're right. But I had no idea this was your life. You've never told me about any of it." Rachel crossed her arms. "Because it's mine, not yours, not anyone else's at that office." Behind her, children peeked curiously. Lily clung to her mother's skirt, while Grace watched Nathan with quiet suspicion. "You volunteer here after work?" he asked, softer now. Rachel nodded. 3 nights a week. My girls help. These kids, most of them are from immigrant families. Some are undocumented. Others have no home. The school system overlooks them, so we try to fill the gap." Nathan's gaze wandered around the dim interior. Water stains, cracked tiles, a broken ceiling fan. It wasn't just underfunded, it was falling apart. And then it hit him. Yesterday, he had offered Rachel a promotion to Director of Operations, a role that would demand late hours, travel, weekends. It was meant to be a reward, but for her, it was a dilemma. "I didn't realize that promotion," he began. "You thought it was generous," Rachel finished for him. "And it is. But if I take it, I lose this." She gestured to the room. "I lose them." Nathan looked down at the girls, now watching him closely. "And you need the money," he said quietly. "Yes," Rachel whispered. "But they need me more." Nathan turned slowly, staring up at the building's cracked walls. "Maybe there's another way." Rachel narrowed her eyes. "Another way? What if—" "We made this part of your new role," he said, his mind already racing. "What if Future Seeds became the cornerstone of our new corporate responsibility initiative?" Rachel blinked. "You'd fund this?" "No," Nathan said. "We would fund it. Together. You'd still get the promotion, but part of your job would be managing this, your way, with full resources, real staff, real infrastructure. You wouldn't have to choose." There was a long pause. The sounds of laughter and chalk against concrete filled the space between them. "Why?" she finally asked. "Why are you doing this?" Nathan looked at her. Really looked. "Because I think I just followed you into something more meaningful than anything I've ever built." Rachel didn't answer. Not with words, but her shoulders relaxed. Just slightly. "Let's talk tomorrow," she said, "in the office." Nathan smiled. "First thing." As he turned to leave, one of the girls called after him. "Mister?" He stopped and glanced back. "Are you my mom's boss?" Nathan looked at Rachel, then at the two wide-eyed girls. "For now," he said, "but I'm hoping she'll be my boss soon." And with that, he walked away, heart racing. Not from fear, but from the sudden possibility that his life might just be changing. We're so sorry to pause here, but part 2 is coming soon. In the meantime, what would you have done if you were in Nathan's shoes? Would you have followed someone you trusted to find out the truth? And what do you think Rachel should do next? Accept the deal or protect her independence? Tell us in the comments and let us know what country you're watching from. If this story touched you so far, please hit the like button and share it with someone who believes in second chances. Rachel showed up at the office the next morning with her armor on, black suit, heels sharp as her resolve, and her usual air of quiet efficiency. But inside, her thoughts were a storm. She hadn't slept. She kept replaying Nathan's words from the night before. Was it just guilt pushing him to offer help? Or was it something deeper? Nathan stood by the window when she walked in, sipping coffee, but clearly waiting for her. He turned, smiled, not the polished CEO smile, but something gentler, more real. "Morning," he said. "Thanks for coming." "You asked me to," she replied evenly. He gestured to the chair across from his desk. "Can we talk about yesterday?" Rachel sat but didn't let her guard down. "Let's get to the point." Nathan nodded. "You're right to be cautious. What I did was invasive, but what I saw, I couldn't unsee it. You're doing more with fewer resources than most charities with full-time staff. And I meant what I said. I want Future Seeds to become part of ReadTech's official outreach program." She raised an eyebrow. "Not out of pity, I hope." "Not a chance," he said. "It's a smart business decision, but it's also personal now. I can't ignore what I saw, and I don't want to." Rachel looked at him closely. "And what exactly did you see, Nathan?" He took a breath. "I saw a woman balancing the impossible, a mother, a mentor, a leader, and someone who's been holding everything together on her own for far too long. Her walls almost cracked, but not yet. So you want to turn my volunteer work into a corporate showpiece?" "No," he said. "I want to turn our corporation into something with a soul, and I need you to run it." Rachel blinked. "You're asking me to take the promotion and oversee the program?" He nodded. "You'd have full autonomy. You'd build the team, set the vision. I'll fund it, but you'd be the heart of it." It sounded perfect, too perfect. Was this really about the mission or about her? Before she could respond, the door burst open. It was Nathan's childhood friend and COO, Jordan Michaels. "Sorry to interrupt," he said, breathless. "Nathan, investors want a meeting, urgently. Rumors are spreading that we're shifting focus away from core growth." Rachel stood. "We're done here." "Wait," Nathan said, catching her arm. "Come with me. Let them meet the person behind the future." Was he serious? Did he really want to introduce her, the assistant, as a visionary to a room of billion-dollar stakeholders? Against her better judgment, she followed him. Inside the sleek glass conference room, the air was sharp with tension. The board members looked up, confused by Rachel's presence. One even raised an eyebrow. "This is Rachel Carter," Nathan began. "You've seen her name in memos. Today you'll see her as the director of our new social impact division." A murmur rippled through the room. Rachel felt their judgment like heat on her skin. Was this a setup, or was this trust? One investor scoffed. "So, we're just pivoting to charity now?" Nathan didn't flinch. "We're expanding. With heart. The world is watching how tech companies give back. We're not just staying competitive. We're leading the future." Rachel found herself stepping forward. "This isn't charity," she said calmly. "It's strategy. When you lift up communities, you create ecosystems of talent and loyalty. We're not giving handouts. We're planting seeds for tomorrow's innovators." The room went still. One board member slowly nodded. Jordan raised an eyebrow at Nathan, but said nothing. When they stepped out, Nathan looked at her. "You didn't have to speak up." "I wanted to," she said, surprising herself. Something was shifting, between them, around them. But just as they reached the elevator, Rachel's phone rang. Her face fell. "What's wrong?" Nathan asked. "It's Lily. She's at the hospital. She had a severe asthma attack at school." Nathan didn't hesitate. "I'm driving you." Minutes later, they were in his car, weaving through traffic, silence thick. Rachel whispered, "I can't lose her. I can't lose either of them." Nathan reached over, gripping her hand. "You won't. You're not alone anymore." Suna, but was that true? Could she really let someone else in? Could she trust a man with a past full of promises and a world too different from hers? And what would happen if she did? We're sorry to pause here, but the story continues in part 3. Now we'd love to hear from you. Do you think Rachel should fully accept Nathan's offer, or is she risking too much by trusting him? What would you have done in her shoes? Let us know in the comments and tell us which country you're watching from. If this chapter moved you, please hit like, share, and stay tuned for the final part. The hospital room was quiet, bathed in soft fluorescent light. Lily lay curled under a thin blanket, her chest rising and falling steadily now, the worst behind her. Rachel sat at her bedside, still gripping her tiny hand, heart pounding from the aftershock. On the chair beside her sat Nathan, silent but present. His jacket was tossed over the back of the chair. His eyes hadn't left Lily once since they arrived. "She's going to be okay," the doctor had reassured them. "But the asthma is serious. You'll need better long-term care." That night, as the nurses dimmed the lights and Rachel brushed hair away from Lily's damp forehead, Nathan finally spoke. "You shouldn't have to do this alone." Rachel didn't turn. "I've done it for years." "But should you keep doing it that way?" he asked gently. "What's stronger? Doing it all by yourself, or allowing someone else to carry the weight with you?" She exhaled slowly. "You don't know what you're offering. I've seen promises made and broken. I've seen men walk away when things got hard." Nathan leaned forward. "So have I." His voice was different, heavy, and Rachel finally looked at him. "My mom worked 3 jobs after my dad left. I used to wait at the school library every evening until she could pick me up. When I got my first bonus, I bought her a house. But she never moved in. She said she didn't need walls, she needed time, and I couldn't give her that." There was a pause. "I don't want to make that mistake again," he said. Rachel looked down at Lily, then back at Nathan. "If you want to be here, you don't have to prove it with money or plans or promises. Just be here." "I'm not going anywhere," he said. In the days that followed, something shifted. Nathan didn't try to take over. He showed up. Quietly, consistently. He helped with homework. He repaired the broken latch on Rachel's back gate. He brought groceries and remembered which cereal Lily liked and which one Emily hated. But there was still distance, especially from Rachel. She kept things professional at work, hesitant to let herself fall too deep, too fast. Was she protecting her daughters or herself? Then one Saturday morning, while Rachel was organizing books for the reading room at the now renovated Future Seed Center, a group of city officials arrived unannounced. They handed her a letter, a reassignment order. The city was considering using the building for municipal storage. Temporary, they said, budget-driven. Rachel froze. She had poured everything into this place, her time, her passion, her heart, and now they wanted to take it away? She called Nathan immediately. "We have 3 weeks to fight this," she told him, "and I'm not backing down." "You shouldn't," he said, "but you won't be alone this time." Over the next few days, Nathan pulled every string he could. Meetings were arranged. Letters of support were collected. The board at Reed Tech approved emergency funding. But Rachel was the one who stood before the council, speaking not as a professional, but as a mother, a mentor, and a witness. She brought Lily with her, and when the little girl stood beside her, clutching a drawing of the center that said, "This is where my heart lives," there wasn't a dry eye in the room. The council voted, unanimously. The center would stay. Later that evening, in the soft glow of sunset, Rachel stood outside the building, watching children play. Nathan approached slowly, hands in his pockets. "You did it," he said. "No," Rachel replied, turning to him. "We did." He paused. "And what if we kept doing things together? Not just here, but everywhere." Rachel's heart skipped. Nathan pulled a small box from his coat pocket, but didn't open it yet. "I know this is fast, but I'm not asking for a fairy tale. I'm asking for a real life, with everything messy and beautiful in between." He knelt. The ring was simple, understated, like her life, like their story. "Rachel Carter, will you let me be a part of your family? For real this time?" She didn't hesitate. She glanced back at the building where her daughters were laughing with friends. Then down at Nathan. "Yes," she said, "but only if you promise to do the dishes at least half the time." He laughed. "Deal." And when they kissed, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't cinematic. It was real, because this wasn't a story about a man saving a woman. It was about two people choosing to show up, for each other, for a future built on trust, respect, and love. And for a moment, as Rachel stood there, holding his hand, watching Lily run toward her yelling, "Mom, Emily says we can have 2 dads now, is that true?" She realized. This was home. Thank you so much for watching this final chapter with us. We're sorry for the brief interruption, but we hope the story left an impact. Now tell us, if someone followed you beyond the surface of your life, what might they discover that could change everything? Do you believe that love can grow where there was once only struggle? Let us know in the comments, and if this story touched your heart, please like, send a heart, and share this video with someone who needs a little hope today. And finally, what did you think of this story? Comment 3 if you loved it, 2 if it felt okay, or 1 if it didn't land with you. We're excited to read your thoughts.